Test. Are you to go?
Okay.
Oh, we're
Come
live.
We're live.
Hello,
Okay.
everybody.
Hello, I am Mr. Nitz, Philip Mariconda. This is Mrs. Nitz, Bonnie Mariconda. And Bonnie is, as you can tell by how we're dressed, I'm here to make Bonnie look good. So, welcome to the Noro Autumn Trunk Show for 2022. We are absolutely looking forward to showing you what we have, and I've been able to arrange it so that I can show you stuff that is in stock. We can sell it to you today, as soon as when you see this. So we'll go ahead and get started, and I will hand Bonnie some garments to show off for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Nitz. What is on the agenda today?
Well, I know you love this one.
I do. I love them all.
And it is what?
Ooh.
Ito. Diagonal texture pullover.
Now, this is from magazine 17, which was a year ago, fall, winter. And Ito is one of our best sellers because look at this just fabulous design. It was knit from side to side in like a 2x2 rib. And yeah, he said it features Ito color number 30.
And we have it.
We have it in our website. We also have it on clearance.
Everything you see is almost always available on our website, www.mrsknits.com, mrsknits.com. It may also be available on eBay. I will let you know when it's an eBay exclusive.
Yes.
And here's another nice Ito. You figure it out. You know garments.
I figure it out. Thank you, Mr. Nitz. And by the way, we're shooting this at our beautiful knit studio in Bremerton, Washington. So if you're in the area, hit us up, call us, email us, Facebook us.
Hey, like any family,
Why
call
am
before
I not
coming.
knowing how this goes?
Okay, it
sorry.
wasn't just me.
No, this is very confusing which way this garment goes. Oh, hang on. Okay. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was...
This is gorgeous yarn, isn't it?
On the cover of magazine 17, it's a miter jacket. And I'm not real skilled at that, but it's basically where you try to figure out what side is up. Let's start there.
What was that mashup? That episode of MASH when Winchester couldn't find the mouthpiece of that trumpet?
In real
of that
time.
French horn?
Bloopers and all. I'm sure I'm completely blowing this, but... The idea
look at the yarn. Look at the colorways. I mean, self-striping. Is that what you call it?
It is self-striping. It is. Didn't I say this was Ito as well?
Mm-hmm.
Mitered squares is you'll knit a piece and then you'll pick up the side and the other side and you make a whole bunch of mitered corners. And I've seen this done in crochet as well as knitting. It's pretty cool. Way too technical for me, technically, but oops.
Okay. It wasn't clear which colorway that was. This one, I do have a colorway. This is from Ito number 3.
This is one of my favorite little designs. Is this the Veronica or is it the other one? This is the cowl. Rosemary
Ito cowl.
Drysdale's Ito cowl. She is fabulous. She's a Noro queen. Does all kinds of designs. Now, if I understand correctly, it's at a diagonal... This is not my day for samples. I think you put your head in here, but that's probably only if you're tiny. So I'm not sure I'm getting
my
this
head
right.
is huge.
But it's a really interesting design in that it's got like a knit 3 and then 3 garter stitch and 3 stockinettes. You have this textural interest in the seed stitch. And it's really easy. You just basically knit up a big rectangle and then you sew it together.
I can hold it up a little closer to the camera.
Yeah, thank you.
With a nice stitch work there. Yeah.
I know, and it's crazy because I think it actually lies at an angle, but I'm getting this wrong. I believe it goes like that to actually wear it, but it's kind of crazy, so I don't know.
I don't see it wear cowls a ton,
Well, there's the Veronica cowl.
Well, here I know this is one of your favorites.
Now, this is on my list
Silk
of things.
Garden. We're transitioning to Silk Garden here.
Did you know they have
the Claire
made this for over 35 years, this yarn, and there are hundreds of colors in a catalog. So they don't, when they discontinue it, they keep a library of old colors. So if you want something classic, you can actually, they reboot it quite frequently. I love, love, love this design. It's actually a vest, and I hope you can see the cable work there. What I really love is this detail around the collar where they took the cable and they extended it up the neckline and then did a rib stitch within it. I just myself finished making a tenon vest with similar kind of idea. We have tenon. It's on clearance.
We have some tenon left.
We have some on clearance on eBay, but I just absolutely love this rib stitch with the cable work. And I mean, Silk Garden's like the most iconic, popular Noro yarn. It's been around since the 80s, and they just come up with these gorgeous, gorgeous colors. I love how this has not only sort of a caramel and a charcoal, but it's got a teal and like a shot of green, kind of just setting off that beautiful
That's the coolest
colorway.
thing. That's the coolest thing I think about Noro is it's a journey. The colorways are a journey, and he says it's the world of nature, right?
It is the color of nature. He also has world of nature. He will take like pastels.
Says the world of nature on his tag.
Well, yes, that's part of their branding.
Yes, and
His color palette is the colors of nature, and his yarn collection is the world of nature. And he basically does earth and sky and ocean. And one thing I got in terms of color theory from Noro is that you can take like pastels and then a shot of black in them, or take jewel tones and a shot of white, and you create all these color effects and color plays, and a lot of the fibers are thick and thin, so you have textural interest in colorways, and you'll be knitting along, it'll be red for a bit, and then all of a sudden it's purple, or it's green, or it's yellow, and you think, oh, that's so odd. And then you see how he puts it together, and it makes sense. It's almost like a symphony.
yeah, the way I see it is like you're on a hike from a mountain, and it's wildflowers, and then it's a gravel and dirt path, and then it becomes grass, and then then it becomes a beach, and then you're at the water. That's exactly what it's like. That's about what it's like knitting with Noro, right?
How would you know?
I don't know.
Actually, he does this well. We take it on
I
the road, Mr.
know
Hudson.
where I know where the yarn. I know the yarn itself.
He does.
Ask me to cast on, I'm in trouble. So
This is true.
So on that note, let's hit you with Tsubame, Nymphilia. Yeah, Nymphila.
Let me see this. Nymphila.
Tsubame number 21 is one that we have.
This is what I was talking about in terms of his design elements. See how there's these pastels, that soft mint green, and then some turquoise, and then they somehow merged like pastels with earthy browns, and it's sort of an ocean and earth, and it just kind of works. You know, it doesn't look strange at all. And this, which yarn was this again, Phil? This was in
Tsubame number 21.
Yes, it was. Tsubame, I had an oops project I did in Tsubame. I was trying to make an asymmetrical vest. And I cast on, and there was this sharp increase, and it came out way too asymmetrical. And I had to rip it out and redo it. But I'll tell you this much, this Tsubame is delicious. It's absolutely fabulous for old time Noro knitters. It's a spin-off on Cocheron mixed with Silk Garden, and Cocheron had a lot of Angora too. It was very fluffy. So they took that fluffiness and they added it to sort of the silky quality of Silk Gardens. You get a lot of nice natural loft, but no bunnies were harmed in this production. So don't worry, he would never hurt a rabbit.
Even the old Angora days, the rabbits just got a little shave.
Well, synthetic Angora is actually quite easy
A little
to
haircut.
put together.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, a haircut is, we're not.
Noro takes very seriously environmental responsibility. We'll cover that in a few minutes.
We will. We will definitely.
Because we're still in the world of Tsubame here. No, Tsubame number 9.
Oh, I've been meaning
It's nice,
to make
isn't
this.
it?
And once again, his color play is so awesome. Look at that. I mean, it just, here you've got these caramels and sort of what do you call it? Italian, not rust, cognac. To me, that's cognac. But with some green, and you got the jewel and got the ocean, but it's such an interesting pop of color, sort of that tangerine orange against the caramel, and then here's a shock of earthy browns and moss colors, which you wouldn't expect against the jewel tones, but it just kind of works. It's It's fabulous. And this is really easy to make. You just learn the little eyelet stitch, which is a yarn over, and you knit just this real nice square here. It's not, I'm sorry, more rectangular, but here, I'll throw this on. This looks really cool. I'm going to wear this. There you go.
You're going to keep wearing that.
I'm going to wear that.
Well, I don't know, but here's something that I think Noro has done for the first time. The Veronica.
Oh, let's talk about the Veronica.
Because this is the Veronica and Tsubame. That will matter. Go ahead and talk about this one. I like that purple shock in there.
I do too, and I'm actually making one of these. And you just, like all the other ones, you just knit up a square about 36 inches by, I'm going to say this is maybe 12 inches or so, this panel. You just knit a big rectangle and you sew it at an angle and you get this sort of triangular effect, which I seem to always get. It's supposed to be this way, isn't it? Oh my goodness. I feel ridiculous. I don't know how this goes. I'm sure the pattern will straighten that up, but we are.
It's a head hole. There's a head hole somewhere in there.
I've seen a variation of this in Tsubame or Ukumishima.
Aha! This will fit most heads, maybe
in?
even mine.
Oh, I see. It goes like that.
Yes.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, you can do it in Okushima,
Aha!
Tsubame.
You got ahead of me.
Silk Garden. You can make it in a bunch. And we're actually...
Are you making it in Madara right now?
I am making it in Madara.
We have Madara yarn.
I'm obsessed with Madara.
Thank you for helping me jump the gun and jump straight into Okunoshima with, what do you know, the Veronica.
Now, this is going to be... The difference is that this is a lot chunkier. If you kind of... Let me switch out. I'm going to put this...
Well, let me ask you this. Is this the first time Noro has ever had a multi-purpose pattern, a pattern that works on multiple yarns, officially?
I would not go that far. No, they have. But this is like the newest one. And same thing. It creates a V, doesn't it?
Been a while for sure, yeah.
Why am I always getting this mixed up? It creates a V like that.
Well, you start with the head hole.
I should have practiced.
And if it
this
doesn't
before
land,
I got
if it doesn't land on you properly.
Well, I know. Okay, I know there is a seam here, and I know that your head is.
I notice it crosses here
through it.
That's where the stitching changes.
So, I feel like a complete idiot. I do not know how this works. I apologize, guys. I should have done this before I tried this on. You might be able to
go to the stitch work.
That.
Go to the stitch work. It's lovely.
I think you wear it something like that. And if you look the difference, okay, so Tsubame, you notice has like a flat texture, and then the Okunoshima is extremely fluffy. This is very much a Kocheron reboot, which was probably one of the best-selling yarns they've ever done because it's so soft. And this one shows more stitch definition because it's less fuzzy. But this one is sort of like curling up with a cat in your lap or something. That's really, really fun. And this was on the cover of the Veronica Cowl. I'm doing one in Madara. I'm going to also do one in Tsubame. I don't think we have Madara samples today, but I can tell you I'm obsessed with it. It's basically Ito, like Ito, but has a 50% silk content and has some alpaca in it, and that's what gives it this really yummy lusciousness. So
I have another Okunoshima for you.
Of course you do. Oh yes.
I like this. This is rich.
I mean, nice they said this is Okunoshima, and
Okunoshima.
I have my Abby in the same colorway, which is on clearance on eBay right now, and I made a sweater about to show you.
There can sometimes be crossover.
Yeah.
Like Noro Silk Guard number 8 is similar to Curion number 40.
Yeah, there's definitely, they made this in my Abby. It's a little twisted, but I know. It's just absolutely yummy. But take my advice, don't knit it with black on. The fur will cover you with lint if you try to knit it with black on.
Oh, wait till we get a dog.
See? I've got
okay.
fluffy fur all over me. Ooh,
now we are getting in.
Oh my god.
One thing about Suido, rich colors. Unbelievably rich colors in most of the Suido colorways.
Ooh. I love this color. It's bold and almost like a neon effect with the purples and the blues, kind of a cobalt, I guess you might call that.
There's a tag over there. Yeah.
That is Sweeto.
Which colorway?
Sweeto number. Wait, how do I flip this over? 65?
Yes, they did introduce 65
New
recently.
color? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing these big, bold colors now, whereas before Sweeto has sort of a rustic tweed, and you might think of it as being earthy browns or greens or something like that, and they did, but they branched out into these sort of ultraviolet, purple, cobalt kind of shades, which are really cool. I like. It's a lot like Ito, but with more tweed, a little more
Ito
rustic.
is Nito.
Yeah, kind of these marled colors, I'd call them. And yes, it is actually one ball of yarn that creates all those colors. You don't have to do any color work. You don't have to wind off. And I don't think we have them, but they come in the jumbo cake balls that are now about that big. And so you might...
Oh, Sweeto, more like this.
Yeah, they're huge.
5 by 5 by 6, I know, because I shipped them.
What are they, 200 or 300 yards each? So you might need 5 of them instead of like 10 when you used to do it.
Less ends, right?
Far fewer ends. And you also don't have the same kind of like having joins.
Exactly.
The joins are tricky.
Here's another nice Sweeto slant stitch pullover.
Now, I made this
Number
in
4.
Miyabi. And I'll pull out the Okunishima, which is very close. So I did this color in Miyabi. So if you can picture, I'll show you this. So the slant stitch pullover, this isn't Sweeto, but if you can picture it in this yarn, you got the Miyabi version. And I'm telling you, this is an awesome first sweater project. You knit it in squares. You literally, it's very boxy. So you make the front and the back, and you just leave room for the armhole. And the sleeves are just sewn in like rectangles. And for your neckline, basically, it's just an opening. You don't have to do any shaping or anything fancy. It's very fun for just sort of instant gratification. You could make this fairly quickly, and the yarn is very forgiving.
It's pretty bulky, right?
Well, and inevitably as a beginner, you're going to have to rip things apart. Heck, I have to rip things apart. And it's nice to have yarn that doesn't get sticky like Velcro when you're trying to redo it. And the slanted stitch is really quite simple. You just kind of follow it along. You jog the diagonal. So there you go. And they did it in Sweeto. And the difference is that this is more tweedy and a little more coarse, whereas this is very fluffy. And the only thing I keep in mind is for a purist, your stitch work shows up better in Sweeto if you're looking to show off your stitch work. But the Miyabi is forgiving if you make mistakes.
Yeah. Now, here's where I want to go into some of that environmental friendliness. Noro is very environmentally friendly, even before it was a big deal, in that less processing of the yarn itself, so you're going to get thick and thin textures as you knit, right, for most of the yarns?
Very naturally slubby.
Mm-hmm. Slubby, I've heard of that term.
Slubby.
Yeah. And so the processing is mostly manual or with older machines, so that you stay in touch with what the fibers are supposed to be. And and what we have here is the ultimate statement of that Hanui.
Yes.
This is undyed. They just bred the sheep a certain way that they came out in these colors and shored them with care, and now this is exactly what you get.
See, I think of this as being like the very traditional Cowichan sweaters, probably something your grandmother would have knit you, only the sort of the lopey yarns were sort of coarse and scratchy, and a lot of people are sort of put off by that. And the Hanui was a specially bred sheep for Noro made in New Zealand. And so there was one breed, one season, and then they retired the flock. They did, as an aside, come up with some new yarns, some Hanui silk, which we don't have yet. We may eventually. But the Hanui silk is basically a finer gauge and some silk content. But these are all natural. They're not really dyed. And this pattern, what is this called now? This is from Noro magazine number 19.
Magazine number 19 is just a
Yes.
number. This one, just a nice brown sweater. Yeah,
That was last
that's all I called. That's
year.
what I
it was
labeled it.
last year's. We got one order of it, and that's all we'll ever see. So that's really special. But there you go. Your
And we
Koweïtchen-
still have plenty of the Hanui in all the colors.
your Lopi reboot we have here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What do you think, Albert? Albert approves.
Brilliant. Now we're getting into stuff that we're clearing it out and we're saying bye-bye to it. This is Tayo. We only have a few of this color number 104, but we also have color number 92.
Which is, let's see, they did it in which color now? It doesn't say what color number they did.
That's number 104.
Oh, here it is. It's on the other one.
No,
So which one do we have? 92?
we have a few of 104. Might be enough to make this sweater, but 92 is this nice, rainbow of sherbet sorbet colors. You know, it's
Well,
like
I
that.
would say it's definitely kind of starts. We have a 10-pack of it up on eBay if you need it, but these colors in here are kind of the basis of the Hanada, I think the color is called. Anyway, it's on our eBay store, but this is 102, and this is...
I generally shy away from pronouncing the color names.
And just as an aside, this is something I don't see as much anymore. It's called a fisherman's rib, where you knit one. It's a ribbing where you knit one back purl. Although I think there's actually a garter stitch rib. Anyway, fun for people who like ribbing and cable work and that kind of thing.
And we are going to end on a fun note with a
Albert.
yarn special. Bachi and Kanzashi, both again, we're clearing them out. They're both headed for our eBay store.
This has been on the cover of, I want to see magazine number 15.
That probably says on the tag.
We've had this for a while.
There's a few details on the tag.
Yeah, I just want to double check. Yeah, it is. Magazine number 15. It's called the Open Cardigan. And the deal is the Kanzashi is the boucle, and you can kind of see, which we have on clearance. Yes, we have it on clearance on eBay. So you get these fabulous ocean colors, and then they put stripes of bachi throughout it. And bachi is basically Curion on a chunkier weight. So you've got this really fun textural effect where you have like a stripe of Kanzashi and then a stripe of the bachi. And the bachi also goes up the bands. It does not have a button. It's quite warm. It's like wearing a coat, honestly.
And Kanzashi, is that the one that's kind of like boucle?
It is a boucle.
That's what I thought. Okay.
But it has, this is so interesting, it has mohair, silk, and wool blended with a little bit of rayon, gives it a little sheen. So it's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whoops! And there goes the avalanche of sweaters.
Yeah, well, we'll clean it later. Oh, thank you for joining us. And
Albert.
Oh no, they prefer under the chin. That's right.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, thank you for joining us for this Noro 2022 Autumn Trunk Show. We'll see you next time, probably for the spring. Thank you very much.
Happy knitting. And that's a wrap.